Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, I eat folks, and platter videos, series videos I've been doing for a while, where I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that the time I'm doing this, folks, yeah, I found another sub place to review. So, sure, sub place to review aside, we'll get to that in a moment. I'm also inside the house, or I'm also inside my truck, as y'all can see. It's a truck. It's not a house, as I immediately misspoke. Aside from being inside the truck, what else am I doing? I'm wearing a cool shirt. Folks, when I wear a cool shirt, I like to highlight the cool shirt because, damn it, folks, I have a lot of cool shirts. What cool shirt am I wearing this time, folks? Boom! It's my 9 Inch Nails Cold and Black and Infinite Tour shirt. I love this shirt, man. I love all my concert shirts. And I've got a shitload of them because I've been to a lot of shows over the years. My 9 Inch Nails stuff, man. 9 Inch Nails has been my favorite band since I was like 9 years old. Odd coincidence there. Absolutely love Trent, and basically everything that he does is just phenomenal. Musician and all kinds of amazing projects. And I was fortunate enough a few years back to go over there and get to see him perform live. Made me super happy. Grabbed a couple shirts. This is one of them. But anyway, I did in fact find a sub sandwich place. So what are we trying? Which, by the way, I'm going to mention this real quick. Since I've done so many sub places recently, I actually have an entire playlist for just the subs that I've tried over the past couple years while doing the show called Subs for Subs. It's a public playlist. Should be more or less in chronological order, and I think I got everything, but it's a whole bunch of sub reviews. But anyway, folks, we're trying, boom, it's a sub, but it's a sub specifically from a place called Mario's Deli. Now, Mario's Deli is not actually too far from where I live. It's, a little bit of a trip, but not too bad. The thing is, I'd never done this place because I'd kind of forgotten about it. And the weird thing about that is that whereas when I did my my review of Augustino's, which hopefully will be up before these, I'd mentioned the fact that when I worked at my gas station job, we had Augustino's. That was one of the brands that we carried. Thing is, my current job, we actually occasionally order from these folks, but it's been a little bit for whatever reason, and I kind of just forgot about them. And I remembered, not too long ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to get out there. So, anyway, this, folks, is an Italian sub from Mario's Deli. Because, folks, I feel, and I've mentioned this before in other reviews, I feel like if you're going to do an Italian-style deli review, you got to get an Italian-style sub. You got to. It's how that goes. And specifically, the Italian-style sub has mortadella, hot capicola, Genoa salami, provolone, lettuce, tomato, and Italian-style dressing. All things that I like, folks. All things that I like. So, let's go ahead. And yeah, like I said, my job occasionally orders this place for us for lunch. But the thing is, typically, since I work late, we're getting them like way after the fact. So this will actually be my first time getting like a nice fresh one from them. Let's go over there. Let's get the thumbnail. Ha 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 ha. That's not a bad looking sub. Not that I expected it to be. I mean, like I said, I've had stuff from Mario's before. So let's give it a shot, folks. Let's see how it is. I will say this right off the bat. Nowhere near as goopy with the Italian style, like the olive oil and the vinegar and stuff like that, as some places that I've been to. So, will that help it? Will it hurt it? Remains to be seen. Let's give it a go. That's a happy noise. So, I'm sort of having the opposite effect of what I had when I had the Augustino's Italian style sandwich. In that, I mentioned my two grievances with it. Go watch the full video, but my two grievances with it were too many onions, which in this case there's no onions, but that's not a problem. I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, I commend them for it. The other thing was with that, the vinegar and vinegar and olive oil that they used for it, I just felt they used too much, and it kind of drowned things out. With this one, it's the opposite. I don't feel like they used enough. You really only get it at the bottom. The top is all just the meats, which isn't bad. I mean, it's meats. Meats are good. But I will say I do think they could have done a little bit more with the Italian-style dressing. And obviously it sounds like, oh, I just can't be pleased. It's like, no, I think that there's like a perfect threshold between, and obviously it's going to vary from person to person. But I do think that there's like kind of an optimal, amount. You don't want it to be, at least for me, I don't want it to be absolutely dripping with this stuff to the extent where, it's like pooling up and everything. But at the same time, I want it to be there because it's a crucial part of an Italian-style sub. So, it's a good sub. Everything tastes good. The meats are good. Veg is fresh. But it's missing that kick. It's missing that Italian-style kick. It's a good sandwich still. I wouldn't complain if I got one. Obviously I did, but yeah, I have to admit, I think that, and again, it's a personal preference thing, but for me, without that extra kick from the olive oil and the vinegar, the Italian-style dressing, however you want to put it, it's still good, but it really just comes off as a fairly normal cold-cut sandwich. And everything, the bread was good, veggies were good, meats were solid, not the best meats I've ever had in a sub, but they were good and they were flavorful. But, man, you got to go over there, you got to have that Italian-style oomph, man, because otherwise, like I said, it feels like a good cold-cut sub. And that, for me, is kind of what it comes down to. I do like it. It's tasty, but I like it less as an Italian-style sub and more just as kind of a, more generic style sub, which is kind of a shame because I think that everything else that they did with it seems to be perfectly solid. But, again, and like I said, it's going to vary, but for me, that not being there in the proper quantities, it does hurt it. My overall, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Would I get it again? No, I don't think so. It's not a bad sandwich, but there are sandwiches that I prefer. Not only from Joey's, but there's other Italian-style sandwiches out there that I can get from other places, like Sereno's. Where I personally prefer the way they bring theirs together. So I like I said, it wouldn't be my go-to. Would I recommend it? No. Mario's, it's a local place, so it's not, like a chain or something I can typically recommend to people. Although I'm sure there's plenty of Mario's delis out there. But the thing is that if I were going to go over there and recommend somebody to Mario's, this wouldn't be the item I would recommend. I think there's better stuff on their menu that, for me, personifies what they're trying to do better than this did. And then, like I said, that's just, because it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not as, just doesn't feel as Italian sandwichy as it should. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for me on this one. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. And, folks, you can go over there and have yourselves a truly Italian sandwich style rest of your life, folks. And I'm talking like proper Italian style with all the dressing, all the fixings, all that good stuff, all in the proper proportions. And one thing I will briefly mention, and I brought this up in one of my other videos, when you're over there and you have a proper Italian style sandwich, okay, and everything is in the proper proportions, it tastes in a way that can only be described as like an Italian style sandwich. All of the flavors come together, and it's a wonderful thing. Sadly, that just wasn't quite the case with this one. Final 2 things, folks. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to go over there. You're going to try not to be an asshole. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, folks. Trust me. All right, I like to be a positive guy, promote positivity, but at the same time, folks, I'm a human being. I get grumpy and shit, get frustrated with the world sometimes. It's important when we run into those situations. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. You're going to watch this review that I've done. Presumably that's what you're doing right now. Although, if my YouTube metrics are anything to go by, most people cut out at a certain point. So maybe you're not seeing this at all, but for the few people who do stick around, hey, I love you. Maybe you're going to go over there and maybe you're going to watch this review and you're going to be like, okay, that, all right, that looks pretty good, but maybe I happen to know this old Italian guy. He lives down the street and he used to be, a butcher back in the day, and he's like a deli master, and he's the guy. And you're going to go over there, you're going to talk to him. You're going to be like, look, we need to make a proper Italian sandwich that's going to be the most Italian sandwich in the history of Italian sandwiches, okay? This thing's going to be so Italian, it's going to go over there and assassinate Mussolini, okay? It took part in that whole thing. You're going to go over there, you're going to make it up. It's going to be fantastic, bring about a whole new revolution for the entirety of the Italian people. All of a sudden, you got Space Italy with all kinds of, like colonies and stuff like that and everything. Maybe they'll build some gyro. What I'm ultimately saying, folks, is that your Italian sandwich will be so good, it will bring about the anime series G Gundam. I'm just saying. Or conversely, you could always go over there and instead, hey, maybe just hit up a, nice Italian-style restaurant that happens to be near you. Have some delicious Italian food. All right, bye.